Hey y'all, hey. So we are back for another review of Ruthless. We're on season 5, episode 17, entitled Into the Blackness. And things are getting much more wicked. So let's just jump into it. So we pick back up with Ruby wearing the bomb outside of the gates. And the FBI trying to reach the highest. Andrew, River, anybody they can reach by phone. You know, they want to negotiate and kind of talk them off the ledge because this is getting real diabolical and we need to calm down. So all while they're trying to get all of this is happening simultaneously. It's a shit show. There's a lot of moving parts. People trying to leave, people trying to come in. It's just a lot going on. Either way, all of this is happening while the FBI is trying to get the media to back up, getting everybody as far away from this bomb as possible. And then we see River realizing that it is Callie, Ruby Callie, whatever you want to call her. She's going to be Callie for the rest of this episode. In respect for the girl, because we'll talk about it in the episode. Either way, the bomb squad does look and confirm that this bomb is legit. It's homemade, but it's effective. And so River asked him, like, hey, are y'all going to sacrifice the girl? And Heist is like, no, we're not Obadiah says, no, she's a soldier, and this is what she's willing to do for the Raku. So River realizes that things have gotten real wicked, again, real diabolical, and we need to figure out how to get this calmed down so that this child does not perish in this place. All right, so the negotiator says that they need to handle things very delicately because he's willing to let Kelly die. Like, we need to step back, take a step back, get off our high horses, get off this macho thing, and do things a little bit differently. And so he also realizes that there's the bomb squad person. It's like, hey, just so y'all know, there is also a transmitter on this bomb, meaning that anybody can detonate this bomb from anywhere within the compound. So that's an added layer of, hey, we don't know who has the controls. We don't know when they're going to do it. Like, we need to be quick but delicate. And so the negotiator says that they need to concede, or at least give Tyrone the impression that they're willing to concede on his demands, so that we can try to save this child's life. And we see Elder Mother come scooting up there, and he tells her, like, hey, prepare the people to basically pray Callie into the Raku Nation, into the other side. You know, give us a chant in gratitude to her making the ultimate sacrifice to the Raku, and she does as asked, right? And then he excuses River because he wants to talk to Obadiah by himself. And River's like, I think I need to be here for the plan so I can prepare the people, blah, 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 whoop-de-whoop. And he's like, no, you can go do something else. Me and Obadiah are going to talk. Because him and Obadiah needs to talk about the second leg of their diabolical plan. And so River knows that he should be there, but Tyrone, like I said, ain't having it. Then Obadiah tells the highest, you know, I'm not here to talk about your judgment or anything like that, but I don't trust River. And he's like, what are you talking about? He was like, basically trying to use Ruth's situation to tie that to everybody that is close to the highest. And he's like, you see how Ruth turned out. I don't want your vision to be further clouded. Mind you, this is the same thing that Anthony Dicon said, and it wasn't received well, but it also wasn't delivered in the style that Tyrone can receive. And he's like, you know, I trust your judgment. I'm not saying you made a mistake or whatever. However, you know, we see how Ruth or the Supreme Mother, how that turned out. So we need to be careful. And he's like, okay, you know, I agree. So I need you to keep an eye on him. I need you to keep an eye on him. He's like, you know, say less. I've been waiting on that. All right. So we see somebody sneaking around the back of the compound. It's one of the prospects that want to join, and we see a soldier give him a note. And that note is from the highest, and of course this is the second leg of the plan, telling them basically like, hey, y'all come around to the back gate. We got something going on at the front gate. We have made a way for y'all to join us, your brothers and sisters. And so that's the confirmation that hey, Callie's going to be a distraction on the front end so that the new people can come in on the back end. And the diabolical part is you're willing to let this child die, perish, unalive, whatever term you want to use, just so that you can get your way, by way of getting new people in, which doesn't really make much sense because it's looking like this is the final. Like, I don't even know how they're going to come up with the season 6 because all of the key players are getting caught or unalived and all these other things. So don't know how that's going to translate to a new season. Don't even know if there'll be a new season, but there was no advertisements that I saw that this was the final season. Either way, it doesn't even matter. But you bring all these new people in, but tonight is the projected finale, like the end all be all, where we're drinking the Kool-Aid and all this other stuff. So I don't see the point in bringing in new people, but here we are. All right. Ruth and Andrew, they're in the trailer and it's getting intense. We have a whole dialogue between these two, and she reminds him like, hey, he's like, do you really hate me that much? And she's like, yes, like your job was to be FBI and to come in here and to stop all of this, end all of this, get us out of this, and you did nothing. You got complacent. Like, what is it? And she reminds him like, hey, your job was to shut this down, and again, like he failed. And so he's like, he claims that he was in there waiting further instructions from the FBI, and he's like, okay. So he basically just cussed the FBI crap, and he wants to level with Ruth. Now, this ain't the time to be open and honest and clear about everything, because what the hell can I do with the information now? Anyway, he's like, can I be honest with you? And she's like, sure. Like, you can be honest with me for once in your life. And he admits that his mind got clouded while being there. This was his first big case, and he wanted to do a good job. He wanted to be a great agent, and he got caught up in this place. He reminds her like, hey, I'm from the streets, just like yourself. And I was supposed to die in those streets. You know your story. You were supposed to die in those streets. You weren't supposed to make it. Neither was I, but I survived. And I tried to make a name for myself, tried to make a way for myself. And I found myself in the military. And that was the first form of structure that I was able to grasp in my life. And then I went on to become an FBI agent, and people kind of looked at me with pride in their chest out like, oh, Andrew, he's this big FBI agent and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. So, in the midst of barely being able to find myself and find who I am, I find myself thrown in this case. And he finds Tally, and he falls in love, and he admits that he never loved his wife. Maybe he just married her for the convenience of that's what people are supposed to do, quote unquote, and tried to use Tally to explain away his decisions by way of being complacent in this thing and buying into it. And he found friends, and he found a love, like he found a community within this fucked up situation. And again, he got confused, and his mind got clouded, and he reaffirms to Ruth, however, after all of this goes down, I'm now clear. I'm 100% clear on who I am. I am not Raku. I'm an FBI agent, and that's where my loyalty lies. And she's like, okay, I can understand. I feel you. So basically, she's like, okay, cool. If you back FBI agent, I'm gonna buy it. What can you do to get us out of here? Like, I need you to help me and my daughter get out of this thing. And then she tells him like how she was able to talk to Kelly, and she saw how the veil kind of came down for once, and how Obadiah caught her, blah, 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 whoop, whoop. So maybe they're going to be working on the plan. And the thing that was interesting about Andrew's story is I think that's how a lot of people end up in these cult situations. Like, you barely know who you are. You're so desperate to find an answer or a place of belonging as opposed to figuring out your own shit. You let somebody tell you who you are or what you're meant to be, and you fall for it, and your mind is impressionable. And while we think that children's minds are impressionable, so are adults when they're not sounding who they are as a person. And this is kind of how Andrew ended up in this thing. Like, he just went from there's also this thing, I don't know the language, but where people go from like, hey, you go from your parents' house, they tell you what to do. You go to a job, they tell you what to do. You go into the military, that is structure, and they tell you what to do. You go in the FBI, you got your missions, they tell you where to go. All of this thing. So for the greater part of your life, somebody has told you what to do, where to go, how to do it, how to be successful, all of these things, and you haven't had an opportunity to kind of sit down and figure out like who you are, what you want to do. Is this really where you want to be? And that leaves your mind malleable to fall into these things. So y'all be careful. Sit down with yourself, figure out what you want to do, who you want to be, and don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe, because it never works out. Like Andrew said, he got caught up in this thing. He found a lady that he really loved by way of Tally. He found friends. He found friendship. He found structure. All of that he found within the confines of supposed to be doing your job, and he got clouded. I like the admission. I like the honesty. I like self-awareness, but it's kind of too late, in my opinion. Either way, Either way, we see Eli. He's helping George and Lewis trying to get away, and they're ducking down real low trying to figure out the situation. And Eli tells them, like, listen, what we're going to do is we're going to hide until dark comes, and then I will act like I'm on patrol and help sneak y'all out of the compound later. And they're like, okay, cool. Sounds like a plan. And he's like, yeah, I also bring y'all back food and water when I can, but I need y'all to stay hidden. I don't need y'all to go out for food and water to say goodbye to nobody. I don't need you to go take a piss. I need you to stay hidden until nighttime comes. And then so Lewis is like, thank you. You're the angel sent from God, blah, 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 blah. And Eli is like, question for you guys, George and Lewis. Y'all still believe in God after all of this that has happened? And he's like, yes, I knew maybe help would come and we get out of this thing. And he's like, I understand because I had that in mind. Like I was a man of God, and I came here to find that community and find a sense of belonging. See previous statement about Andrew wanting to belong and wanting to fit in somewhere and wanting to be normal and wanting to be all these things other than just yourself. And he tells him, like, listen, I'm not sure that I can believe after all of this, but more power to y'all. I don't really have no insight on that whole thing because I know that there's a group of people that's going to be like, hey, see, their faith kept them going, but we'll see, because the dead of night is upon us, and there's some other schemes going on, and they might not make it off. So let's just hold tight. All right, River's on the phone with the FBI, telling them like, "Hey, y'all need to hurry up, come get me, man. I'm ready to go." And of course, he's talking to them, and they're like, "Hey, okay, cool, but can we talk to Tyrone? Blah blah blah, whoop de whoop. Can you get the phone to him?" And he's like, "I could try, but I don't know if he want to do it." And of course, Obadiah is kind of sneaking around the corner to see what he's up to. He's not close enough to hear the conversation, but he does run up on him at gunpoint, demanding to know like who he was talking to. And he's like, "I was talking to the FBI." And he's like, "Oh, I knew you were a snake." And he was like, "No, the Heights, gave me permission. They had an offer that the Heights couldn't refuse, and they just want to talk to him." Of course, Obadiah ain't buying it, and now he's on your ass. Like, everybody is making dumb decisions. Like, we've schemed and plotted in the dead of night and in the secret shadows for months or however long the timeline has been, and now that we're so close to freedom, we just move it haphazardly. That just seems to be the theme for last episode and this one. Like, Ruth, you went in that children's trailer haphazardly. River, Joan, and Zane, y'all are moving haphazardly. Y'all know that there's 1 million eyes on the compound right now. Tensions are high. Like, this might not have been the time, but I'll see what y'all doing. Like, hey, we got the FBI outside. We got help just right outside of this gate. If we can get over there, we home free. So I understand the risk, but a little bit more discretion. That's all I'm saying. Either way, the highest finally agrees to talk to the FBI, and Agent Miller tells him, like, listen, I'll give you whatever you want, within reason, of course. And they just want to do whatever they can to see Callie Ruby's life saved. He's like, you don't need to worry about her. She's making the ultimate sacrifice for the Raku. You ain't doing me no favors, blah, blah, blah. And of course, Agent Millard is doing this to distract the highest's mind and his eye from Callie outside of the front gate so that they can send in their bomb expert to get that bomb off of that child. Even though the gates are still open and they can still look outside the gate and see her, they want to use the art of surprise and quickness to get her, even though you would have never had enough time because the detonator's on the phone. It was a dumb plan. Whatever. Obadiah goes to Manny and Peter, and he's like, what y'all doing in the Punish trailer? Like, what's going on? And he wants to know, like, why River doesn't like them, and he wants to see, because any enemy of River is a friend to him. So he's like, hey, the other soldier volunteers information. He's like, hey, the two had issues respecting River, and Obadiah can understand them on that. Like, he can definitely commiserate with them on it. And so Obadiah tells the soldiers, set them free. Like, I'm gonna need them. And he's like, y'all are good men, and I'm gonna need y'all soon. It's some snakes among us. Tonight might be the night that we go to see the Raku, and I need y'all to help fight. And that the FBI is going to try to surprise them, of course, under the cover of night. That is a very common and well-known strategy of war. And so he's going to be recruiting them to be his most trusted soldiers during that time. And of course, that's contrary to River, because he did put them in there because he knew that they would be his most loyal and strongest soldiers. And so that unveils his plan. And then they ask him if they want revenge. And they're like, yeah, I'd love to get revenge against River. And he's like, okay, stick with me, protect, you got my back, we're good. And he also tasked them like, hey, watch River. But for now, I need y'all to stay hidden. Like, stay hidden until the last possible second. Because if River continues to think that y'all are in the punishment trailer, he's going to keep moving like y'all are, not an issue. And that is a very strategic plan that works out for Obadiah by the end of the episode. All right. Obadiah points out to the Heist that they are moving in on Ruby. Like, he can look outside the gate and see the agent rushing towards Ruby. And the Heist sees it, and now he has to take action. And he's telling Agent Miller, like, you're the evil government. I knew you were going to try to deceive me, blah, 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 blah. Hangs up the phone, and Obadiah hands him the cell phone. The cell phone that will detonate this bomb. And the newer group of FBI agents is like, just run and go get her, just rush, as if that was going to be enough to rectify the situation. And the Heist hits the button on the phone, and the bomb goes off. The bomb goes off, and we see the agent on the ground. She's not moving, and we see everybody's face just looking out. We don't actually see Ruby's Callie on the ground, but everybody's face and everybody's reaction is like seeing this child blown away. We now know, confirm, believe that Callie is no longer with us. And, it's very sullen. Of course, Obadiah and Heist, they're smirking like, hey, the plan is good. She's done what she needed to do. Basically like it's just a regular day. Everybody else is looking like, holy crap. River, Jones, Zane, everybody else is looking like, yo, y'all done blew that child away. That's the only reason that Ruth stayed. That's going to tear up her mindset. So, everybody's reeling from that. And we hear Miller and Desiree telling all the new agents, like, hey, I just need y'all to know that the blood of Callie is on your hands. I told y'all, like, this macho shit was not going to work. Y'all wanted to be macho, and now Callie is gone. And now River and them has tasked Joan to tell her, like, hey, you need to give Ruth the information. You need to be delicate, because we don't even know if Ruth is going to want to escape with us now that her child is gone. And at the same time, we see Ruth in the trailer, and she's like vomiting, and we thinking it's from the child that she's carrying. But of course, we know that this is more of a spiritual connection. She's telling Andrew, like, something ain't right. Like, something don't feel right. Something ain't right. I don't feel good about any of this. Something ain't right. And, her spiritual being, her physical body knows that her child is probably no longer with us. She don't have the information, she don't have the confirmation, but her body is reacting. So that's going to be sad when she finds out. Of course, next week is going to be the last episode of the season, and we'll see, like, if Ruth is going to want to stay and try to unalive everybody that had anything to do with this, or if she's going to try to escape, even though escaping with the Three Stooges is not going to be a good idea in the next few seconds. Either way, the Heist wants a celebration to rejoice in Callie going to the other side, as well as welcoming the new recruits. So, of course, Elder Moses is going to scurry off to do that. We also learned that the agents didn't make it out either. She has perished along with Callie. We see the Heist outside of the gate, of course, probably at the back gate, welcoming in the new recruits to the compound. They don't know what the hell they signing up for with their dumb, feeble minds, but here we are. Now the FBI realizes that the explosion was a diversion to get the new recruits into the compound. Duh, like simple math. And he had no plans of ever letting Callie go scot-free. So they didn't think of that beforehand. I don't know why that was not possible. Like, if there's already reports of this man unaliving people and people going missing, like, you underestimate what he's willing to do. All right, so we see River, Joan, and Zane talking yet again, and they're finalizing their plan, right? They still want to leave. Zane and River are like, that lady ain't living without her child, and we don't know what her state is going to be when she does learn that her child is no longer with us, so we should leave without her. And Joan's like, no, I'm not going to be able to do it. What we're going to do is we're going to reconvene at 12 o'clock tonight, and hopefully I should be able to get to Ruth by then, and then we can all leave. But if I can't, okay, cool. I can see we can all leave. 12 o'clock comes. It's the dead of night. We see 11:30, 12 o'clock, whatever the time is. We see River, Joan, and Zane with their crap all packed up. The FBI is calling, and of course, River has to stop and answer that call so that they can be aware of his plans, so that they can potentially help them out. He tells Edgar Miller, like, hey, we're going to be climbing the fence in about 30 minutes, and decide that they plan on going out of, how that place looks, blah, 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 blah. And Edgar Miller's like, okay, cool. It's going to be you and two women. We'll have people there waiting for y'all, and we're good to go. So we think the plan is done. However, half a second later, we see Obadiah jump out of the shadows of the night to foil their plans to beat River's ass again, and probably, I don't know if he's going to execute them on the spot or throw their ass in the punishment trailer with Ruth, but Obadiah is on one. He's like, I knew you were a snake. And of course, he's got his gang of minions that he has recruited, and their plan has been foiled. So we got Andrew, we got Ruth, Zane, River, Andrew, Ruth, River, Zane, and Joan. 5 of the key players have been caught up on some stuff, and everybody's probably going to end up in this punishment trailer. Hopefully somebody's going to be able to get Obadiah out of there. If not, all of y'all are going to get executed. Of course, that's not realistic for the plot of the show. There's going to be something that comes in and, you know, saves most of them, if not all. But we'll let that develop. Either way, that has been the episode. It's a lot going on. It's a whole lot of moving parts. Now that they have blew Callie away, the FBI is not going anywhere. They're not just going to leave or turn away. So I don't know how this is going to end, unfortunately. But we'll see this through. R.I.P. to Miss Callie. Wish you had never been brought there or was able to get out. But here we are. I don't know how this is going to affect Ruth. You also got to remember that Ruth is with child, so that could cause her to have, you know, miscarriage. There's a lot of things that could potentially happen. That could be happening in this last episode next week, so we'll be strapped in for the ride. Either way, let me know what you think about the episode. Let's talk about it in the comments. Either way, it's been season 5, episode 17. Like, comment, share, subscribe, or whatever it is that you feel like doing. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.